Hello, it's Andrine. I'm a Jewish American Priestess, and today I'm bringing you a reading for the full moon of Kislev. We're in this time where the moon has come into fullness, and it is the moon of dreaming. And so the seeds that we've planted at the new moon are coming into fruition now. And I'm going to do a reading with the Mogen David today, the six-pointed star with the seventh in the center. Before I start, I'm really bad at promotion of my stuff, but I want to let you know that right now, if you want to buy the Hebrunes set of 23 wood rounds with the booklet, it's on sale at my Etsy shop, which is hebrunes.etsy.com. I'll put the link below. And if you use the checkout code JEWITCH, you'll get free shipping as well. So let's just start off by shuffling our Hebrunes, and we'll lay them down. We'll do the first three, read those, and we'll do the second three and read those, and then we'll do the one in the center to end. And today we're just talking about what's coming into fullness in this month of dreaming. In the top position, we have the Chet. In the lower right, we have the Aleph. And in the lower left, we have the Dalet. So in these three positions, let me zoom this in a little bit. Yeah. So in these three positions, the top position represents what's coming down from above, what is coming down from the divine right now. And we have the letter Chet. Chet is the letter that begins the word Chai, which means life, and begins the word Choshech, which means darkness. And Chet shows up for the first time in Torah in the word Choshech, which symbolizes that it's a very important word. The first time this is showing up in Torah. Choshech meaning darkness, but it's the thing that the divine separates day from night, the darkness from the light. And we are in this time of darkness of the year. We're coming up on the solstice, so we're getting into that place. We're in the darkest time of the year. And it's a time of grounding, being under the earth if you're a seed, being inside the womb if you're a fetus, that dark place where growth happens, underneath where we can't see. And that's what's coming down from the divine right now, that life that is gestating under the earth, inside the womb, this dark time. The Chet is also the number 8 in Gematria, and 8 has that infinity loop shape. So it represents the infinite and has the potential for all things. There are 7 days of creation in Torah, and the 8th day is that next day, which represents the rest of all time. And the infinite also being a representation of the divine themselves, the infinite one that exists before time and will continue to exist after time, and just gives us that potential for all things. So this is a beautiful letter that's coming down from above. Life, darkness, the infinite is here for us. In the lower right corner, this is the position of what is known about our situation. We have the Aleph. Aleph is, of course, the first letter of the alphabet. And you can see that it's got that Yud at the top that's reaching up or coming down from above, and this stylized Yud at the bottom, which is reaching down into the earth. In between, we have this Vav. Vav is the letter of connection. So it's a connection of above and below, a balance, like scales, of what is coming down from the divine and what is coming up from the earth, this balancing place. So what we know is that we have divinity coming into the world. We have the earth, the manifestation of divinity in the world, and this connection between. So right now we're sitting in a place of balance between the divine above and the earth below, understanding that they are the same, separate, and also different. The Aleph represents the oneness of all, and so thereby representing the divine themselves. And it represents this manyness. If you change the vowel in Aleph, it becomes Aleph, which means 1,000. So you have 1 and 1,000 both within this letter. So what we know right now is that divinity is here, that the connection of above and below is balanced, and that we have multiplicity within unity and unity within multiplicity. There's only one divine, and there's infinite faces of the divine. There is one body, but we have trillions of cells within it. There's one universe, but there are billions and trillions of stars. So this oneness, this allness is here, telling us that we know this. We know this to be true. In the lower left corner, we have the position of what is unknown, unseen beneath the surface. And we have the Dalet. Dalet is representative of a doorway, a gateway. It's the birth canal. It's the place through which we enter into the world. So we've been in darkness up here with the Chet in this womb space, and now we're about to be birthed forth. We can't see it yet because it's still dark, and also because it's maybe unknown about when exactly that will happen. But a doorway is here underneath the surface. A doorway is here letting us know that we can walk through it soon. The Dalet is also the number 4 in Gematria, so basically half of the Het. It's a very stable doorway-shaped number, and it represents those 4 letters of the divine name, the Yud He Vav He. So there's again divinity here within this doorway. And as we walk through a doorway, we often touch into a mezuzah or something to remind us that the divine is with us as we make these transitions. So what's unseen right now is the doorway that's coming soon as we pass through this full moon time. Let's pull out 3 more letters. At the bottom of our star, we have the Ein Sof, very nice. In the upper left, we have the Mem. And in the upper right, we have the He. So the bottom position of this particular spread represents what is coming up from beneath, what is coming up from the earth, or what is supporting us right now in this time. And we have the Ein Sof. This is our blank piece that shows up in each of my sets. The Ein Sof represents that without end. It looks like it has a dot in the middle, but that's just how the wood is colored in this particular set. So the Ein Sof is the infinite potential again. We've got infinity at the top with the 8, and we've got the infinite blank at the bottom. This is the substrate onto which all the letters are carved. This is the blankness, the void, the tohu vavohu that came before all of creation. So coming up from the bottom, the support that we have is the infinite again, the infinite potential. And it also looks like that full moon up in the sky. So it's representing that wholeness, that fullness of all things. It has this sense of we have no idea what is coming. It has a sense of both blankness of void and the unknown, but also, again, infinite potential and the infinity of the divine themselves. So being supported both at top and bottom from wholeness and infinity. And it's like the opposite of darkness. It's the light. It's the allness of maybe the mix of the darkness and the light before it was separated. So that space where things were unformed. The unformedness is here at the bottom. In the upper left corner, we have the position of what's our fear or challenge right now. And we have the Mem. The Mem is the mother letter of water. And it represents right now the winter in the year, because it's the wet time. It's a womb space where gestation happens. It looks a little bit like a womb with that opening at the bottom, that birth canal through which we will be born. And so the challenge right now is this gestation time. We're coming into a time of darkness, as we know, in this time where we're waiting to see that doorway. So our challenge is waiting it out. Mem is the number 40 in Gematria. So it represents that 40 weeks of gestation in the human body, the 40 years of wandering in the wilderness. So there's a time right now where we're just waiting for things to happen. We're waiting in the darkness to be born. We're waiting to see that doorway. And it's a little bit challenging right now. It's a little bit fearful that we have to sit in this womb space. And the cold, the water can be overwhelming right now. It's raining right now where I am. It's probably cold and snowy in other places in the country, in the northern hemisphere. So we have this time of waiting, this time of wet and coldness. But with the mem also comes the idea of cleansing through water, mikveh, and also the well from which we can draw nourishment and refreshment. So there is some fear, there is some challenging times right now around this waiting time, but we know the doorway's coming. We can see it down here in the left corner, that even if we're in the darkness, we can wait it out and be born when the time is ripe. And our advice right now, in the upper right corner, this is a position of advice, we have the letter He. And He is the first letter of the word Hineni, meaning here I am, ready and available for service. When the divine calls our name, we are to respond, Hineni, here I am. So I see He as representing presence, being available, showing up, and just accepting what is and being patient. It's a letter that looks a little bit like the Dalet in the upper right and a little bit of a Yud at the bottom. So that doorway, but we're waiting, we're standing in the door. We're waiting to be called forth by the divine. And when we are called, we say, here I am, ready and available. And that's our advice right now. Hang out, wait, and see what you're being called to do. Sometimes we get the call before we know what the mission is. So it's important to show up and say, yes, I am ready, even if we don't know what we're being called to do, because we can trust divine above, divine below. Divine here is the known peace. And even with the gestation, we know that divinity is all around us and that the birth canal is coming. So I'm going to pull out one more letter for the center of our reading to kind of give us an overview and an outcome for this full moon time in this month of dreaming of Kislev. And we have the letter Nun. Nice. Nun is the letter that represents humility. Ne'eman means to be humble. And so we can see this letter looks a little bit like somebody who's kneeling and has their head bowed. Sort of a letter that represents prostration, putting our bodies down on the ground into the earth so that we can give reverence to the gravity that supports us, the forces of nature that have allowed us to be here. Nun is the letter that I see as being in a place of solitude, being in a place of contemplation. So our outcome here is to find our place of contemplation, to prostrate ourselves on the earth, possibly feel grounded right now. The other thing that Nun reminds me of is the first letter. You'll recognize it from the dreidel. As we come into this time of Hanukkah at the end of the month, we have that game that we play with the dreidel. And it's got the 4 letters on it, Nes Gadol Hayasham. The Nun represents the miracle. Nes means miracle. So we have to come into a place of humility, not humiliation, but humility, where we're appropriately humble in the face of all that is here. And when we do that, we can find that miracle, whatever that miracle turns out to be, whether it be a literal birth or a metaphorical birth as we come through this full moon time. So our outcome is the miracle. It is the humility and coming to a place of connection and prostration with the earth. So what a beautiful reading for this full moon time of Kislev. Kislev, kis meaning pocket, and lev meaning heart. A place where we're finding a pocket in our heart, or a pocket for our heart, in this month of dreaming. We're in the time of darkness right now, but also we can see that the infinite is here, holding us in the space, this womb space that we are gestating. That the oneness of the divine is here. It may seem like there's an infinite number of things to do, but it really comes down to doing one thing: sitting with ourselves, sitting and contemplating our own connection to the earth, being connected to the divine above, the earth below, really leaning on the oneness of the divine at this time. There's a doorway coming. We can tap into the divine as we step through that doorway, trusting that divinity is here with us, that we have the potential for transition into the next phase of our lives. That supporting us at the bottom is the full moon, is the infinite, is that sense of divinity and the substrate, the blankness, the void, the unknown that we're going through. It's here to support us. Infinity loop above, the infinite itself below. Our challenge right now is the gestation, is that pregnancy, is that waiting time where we're being held in a womb space in the darkness, that we can't always see our way forward. And being pregnant is uncomfortable. Waiting is uncomfortable. Giving birth is uncomfortable. It's a little bit hard right now to wait it out in this dark space. But the doorway is coming even if we can't see it. That our advice here is to stay present, to show up for ourselves, to say to the divine, here I am, available and ready for service. Even if I don't know what my mission is, I'm still here. I'm waiting it out. I'm sitting in the darkness, waiting for those roots to grow, for that sprout to come up in the spring. And our outcome here is a miracle. Our outcome is appropriate humility, prostration perhaps onto the earth, and finding the miracle in this moment. So that's our reading for the full moon of Kislev. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you did, you can like and subscribe to this channel. If you want to get a set of your Hebrunes, head over to Hebrunes.etsy.com. Use the code JEWITCH to get free shipping. And I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful full moon. If you can get out and see it tonight, please do. It was gorgeous rising in the fog last night. And I will look forward to seeing you here next time. Shavua Tov.